Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. My name is Michael Spiz. I'm the Vice Chair of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, and I'm the Chair of the Human Trafficking Task Force here in Oakland County. Everybody should be wearing a blue ribbon in recognition of Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Human trafficking is real. Anyone, anywhere, can be a victim, regardless of race, class, education, age, or gender. In January of 2017, the Oakland County Board of Commissioners created a bipartisan task force on human trafficking. The goal of this task force is to serve as a resource for the prevention of human trafficking and to bring many different groups together for the protection and rehabilitation of victims within Oakland County. One thing we realized, that anyone can play a role in the fight against human trafficking, but most people do not know enough about human trafficking itself or how to find out about it. Which we're here to announce today is the creation of a website, oakgov.com/human trafficking. It will serve as a primary source for information about human trafficking in Oakland County, provide information and support for victims and their advocates, parents, and professionals, and anyone interested in learning more about the issue and how to help. Now I'd like to introduce Oakland County's Director of Health and Human Services, Kathy Forsley, and she'll provide more information and detail about the website.
Good afternoon. The Oakland County Department of Health and Human Services serves on the Human Trafficking Task Force with a strong support and encouragement from our County Executive, Al Brooks Patterson, who has proven his steadfast commitment to protecting victims throughout his career. Human trafficking is a diverse and complex public health issue that impacts an estimated 26 million victims worldwide. As with all complex issues, there is no one organization or agency that can handle the enormity of this problem by itself. So together, we're working to increase awareness of human trafficking, increase training opportunities for our professionals as they work every day to intervene, provide services and treatment to victims, as well as upstream to identify and provide opportunities to prevent trafficking from occurring in our community. Our work is intended to inform the community, and as such, we have created a website, and our work will be accessible on this website. And as the commissioner said, the address is www.ogov.com/human trafficking. On this website, there is a Know the Facts page that will provide links to fact sheets, data, and infographics. The data and infographics information we hope will be particularly useful to those that are working to understand the problem or describe the complexity and the impact of human trafficking. There's even a fact sheet specifically designed for parents to raise their awareness and insight about how their children can become vulnerable to traffickers. The resources webpage provides contact and general information about the National Trafficking Hotline and online resources for a more in-depth education about human trafficking. As Oakland County advocates to end all forms of human trafficking and protect victims of this crime in our communities and across the state, ready access to laws, regulations, and prevention policies is essential to us and an important asset to the task force as well as to our community partners. For this reason, the advocacy page will provide an expanding list of links to federal and state laws, prevention policies, and regulations related to human trafficking. And finally, the training and webinars page houses links to online trainings and webinars for professionals and community members to learn more about the issue. With the commitment of many individuals and organizations, this website is intended to rapidly grow and expand to become a one-stop shop for information and resource connections to assist a victim, an individual, a parent, or a professional in this coordinated, community-wide, and multidisciplinary response to human trafficking. It's now my pleasure to turn this over to Oakland County Commissioner Janet Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Kathy just said, I am Oakland County Commissioner Janet Jackson, and I want to just thank her for such a comprehensive overview of our website, which is a result of hard work by many individuals. The website and task force Force both have been a bipartisan effort. We care about human lives and those most vulnerable and the conditions in our community. Personally, I've been concerned and involved with addressing this serious problem since 2013, helping to initiate the Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force and coordinating an annual county-wide hotel outreach and awareness activity, partnering with Metro Detroit SOAP, which stands for Saving Our Adolescents from Prostitution. This is an anti-human trafficking hotel outreach and education program. So, we know that law enforcement is a crucial partner in addressing this problem. Their personnel serve as active members on the task force and are on the front line every day combating this serious issue. First, I would like to introduce Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard, who will detail some of the Sheriff's Office activities leading the Oakland County Gang and Violent Task Force to help harness this crime.
Thank you, Commissioner. And you're very true that it takes teamwork, and it's not just law enforcement, it's the community to recognize the signs and symptoms and to be aware that it happens everywhere. Good communities are as much subjected to trafficking as any community. So a lot of people kid themselves and believe it can't happen here. In fact, Michigan is number 8 in the country for human trafficking by most reports, and that's not a top 10 list we want to be on. Trafficking tends to typically be focused in sexual trafficking or labor trafficking, with obviously the biggest percentage in the sexual trafficking. But some of the signs in the work environment, people may appear to be working against their will, unable to leave or restricted in their movements or environment, forced to work under certain conditions, unable to negotiate the kind of conditions or compensation for the employment, and little or no pay. Similarly, in homes, you see the same kinds of things, unable to have freedom of movement, may not have their personal documents, passports, or identification, may not know their addresses. That's not an uncommon thing. They may not know because they've been intentionally kept in the dark. Michigan is one of the handfuls of states in the country that does not allow wiretaps by state or local authorities. That could be one thing that our legislators, and I saw a couple here, should think about addressing and hold some hearings on. With valid warrants, probable cause, some crimes only can be put together with certain kinds of evidentiary standards. And that kind of law to allow state and local to have the ability to get a judicially approved wiretap to begin to put that through would help us on the state and local level attack some of these crimes. I think that is one thing where we could begin to look at what are the tools, and speaking with law enforcement, our state, federal, and local partners, what kind of tools do we need to add to the legislative request in Lansing to get into the ability to begin to bring some of these organizations and heinous people down. So we're very committed to attacking this problem, and it's very much like terrorism. You know, I know there's an effort, see something, say something. Same thing applies here. If you see somebody that appears to be fearful, intimidated, showing signs of injury, doesn't have some of the things that I talked about, you really need to share that information. I mean, we'd rather check out 100 false things than miss one real one. I also want to introduce my friend and partner from law enforcement, the great chief from the city of Southfield, Eric Hawkins.
Thank you, Sheriff. And thank you, Sheriff and Commissioner Jackson. I commend you for working tirelessly all these years for victims of human trafficking. You really have made a difference, and you've made a difference in the Southfield community, so we appreciate you. And I also thank the Oakland County Board of Commissioners for creating the Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force. As a local police chief, as the sheriff said, we see some of the things at the ground level and some of the impacts that it's having on our communities, on our police departments. And so I want to talk a little bit about the impact that human trafficking has had on local police departments, because we all know the devastating impact that human trafficking has on the victims of these crimes. And what we see is that when human trafficking occurs in our local municipalities, there will be a corresponding increase in major crimes and in social disorder and quality of life complaints. And I've seen those things increase steadily over the last few years. And thankfully, because of organizations like the Human Trafficking Task Force, we're starting to see a decline in some of those sorts of things, because as you attack those, then you also see that corresponding decrease. Right now, what all of us chiefs and directors in Oakland County are focused on is building and maintaining relationships with our communities. We've seen some of the things that have been occurring across the country, and what everybody is saying is that police departments, especially local police departments, must rebuild, maintain these relationships with our local communities. Well, when we have an infusion of human trafficking in our communities, we've got to redirect those resources from community policing programs, community outreach. What ends up happening is we end up spending more time in our hotels and motels dealing with human trafficking related issues and less time doing community policing. I'm thankful that our Board of Commissioners created this task force. It really is making a difference. And by reducing the prevalence of human trafficking in our communities, what this is going to do is make our local police departments much more effective in doing what we should be doing. So I thank you, and with that, I will introduce Oakland County Commissioner Eileen Kowal.
It has been my honor to be able to serve on the Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force. I would like to thank Commissioner Spiz and Commissioner Jackson for allowing me to participate in this. It kind of creates a link for me from the Michigan Human Trafficking Commission and all the work that was done there. And I thank everybody that's been involved and with all of their very input from all different kinds of experiences with this horrific crime. At this time, though, I would like to introduce the Attorney General for the state of Michigan, Bill Schuette. Human trafficking has been important to Attorney General Schuette since taking office. At the national level, he immediately took a leadership role with the National Association of Attorney Generals Pillars of Hope initiative. And then he formed the first human trafficking prosecution unit within the Department of Attorney General. In 2013, he collaborated with the legislature to form the first Michigan Human Trafficking Commission. The commission, working with a victim-centered, trauma-informed approach, emphasized that men, women, and children who are trafficked are victims, not criminals.
This is a significant day, a big day for Oakland County with respect to this combating and fighting human trafficking. So that we're in this together as a team, as a group effort here in Oakland County, it sends a statement of commitment here in southeastern Michigan. So I'm glad we're here together. Now, where do we go from here? Well, we all have a common mission in order to combat human trafficking. And the important thing here today is this website is a great advancement here in Oakland County. And we've heard a lot of statistics and numbers and all of that. The other thing to keep firmly in mind is that these are real people. And human trafficking can happen anywhere. So our mission here is one to provide hope. Our mission here is to help educate. Our mission here is to have strong law enforcement.
So in closing, I'd like to thank you all again. I encourage you to visit our website, share it. You know, there'll be some Facebook blasts and Twitter blasts out there, so please share those as you see them. And of course, before you leave, if you haven't already taken a blue ribbon for yourself, please take one. Take one for a friend, take one for the family, because we'd like to recognize not only today, but the entire month of January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month. So thank you very much, and be safe, and God bless.